Hello everyone, welcome to the third and the last part of renal function test. In this section, we'll be looking into the biopsy and the imaging techniques used in estimation of renal disorders. First of all, we will start with renal biopsy. Evaluation of renal histology is important for diagnosis of various renal parenchymal disease involving glomeruli, tubulointerstitium, and small blood vessels. This procedure has become much simpler with use of automatic devices, ultrasonographic visualization. Its significance can be seen in cases of steroid-resistant nephrotic syndrome, acute renal failure of unknown cause, rapid progressive renal failure, systemic disorders like Hanoch, squalene purpura, lupus hemolytic uremic syndrome, IgA nephropathy, Alport syndrome, renal allograft dysfunction, and detection of calcineurin toxicity. Whereas in lesser cases, like these other cases, where its importance is not too much, but still this procedure can be followed there, like chronic renal failure to ascertain the etiology of the reason, non-nephrotic range of proteinuria, microscopic hematuria, steroid-sensitive nephrotic syndrome. A renal biopsy is not required in uncomplicated cases of post-infectious glomerulonephritis and corticosteroid responsive nephrotic syndromes. Now, what is the procedure? It is actually this procedure needs a lot of technical assistance. So the patient biopsy is usually done percutaneously, and we need to check for the history of bleeding and clotting disorders if any present. For that, we'll be looking into the prothrombin time, bleeding time, coagulation time, platelet count. Also, blood pressure should be in the normal range. In patient with acute renal failure, if you want to perform renal biopsy, so before that, dialysis should be done. And correlation and correct biochemical abnormalities need to be ascertained before the biopsy to know what type of disease we are looking for. Also, we need to look into the renal size. Location is confirmed by use of ultrasonography, and the patient should be kept for fasting about 3 to 4 hours before the renal biopsy is done. Local anesthesia can be also be used before performing the renal biopsy. Now, how does it perform it? The patient usually lie in a prone position with a folded towel or bedsheet placed under his lower ribs and epigastrium to push the kidney posteriorly and stabilize their position. Entry of biopsy needle into the kidney when it pierces the renal capsule is indicated by slight resistance, and once in kidney it moves with respiratory exclusions. We need to take out two samples. Two cores of tissue around 8 to 10 millimeter long are needed for adequate histological examination. One of the sample is fixed into formalin and the other is fixed in a saline solution. Histology should be examined by light microscopy using hematoxylin and mucin, periodic shift, and silver methionine staining in all cases. Electron microscopy is very useful in several disorders like Alport syndrome, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis, thin basement membrane disease. Now we'll come to the imaging techniques. A plain X-ray film of the abdomen can also be drawn. Although the utility of X-ray has been reduced by introduction of ultrasonography and CT scanning, although this technique is many times used for detection of renal calculi, ureter calculi with minimal or no proximal dilatation, also in spinal evaluation in neurogenic state, that is to assess the condition of spinal cord as uh, they both the kidneys are placed nearby to the vertebral column. Also to evaluate metastatic bone disease from neuroblastoma and screening the renal osteodystrophy for any effect of a tumor of kidney on the nearby bony structure can be evaluated. We have one more technique, that is excretory urography. Newer technique, especially ultrasonography in combination with nucleotide studies, have largely replaced excretory urography and intravenous pylography. Earlier, these methods, and we do use pylography and urography also. That is what we need to do, how we need to prepare uh, the patient, and that is we keep it on a overnight liquid diet and laxatives, and then 2.5 to 3 ml per kg of the non-ionic contrast agent is administered intravenously. Initial film is taken at 5 minutes after contrast agent followed by another 10 to 15 minutes, and a late pelvic film is visualized the urinary bladder. Excretory urography should be avoided in neonates because of their poor ability to concentrate contrast medium. Also, we have ultrasonography, which provides an excellent information about the anatomy of urinary tract. High resolution image in multiple planes may be obtained. The procedure is ideally suited for children also. This is painless and requires no sedation or administrative of any contrast agent, and be carried out even bedside. Ultrasonography guide us to use in an invasive procedure like FNAC and biopsy. So this is a handy procedure where we can get exact location of the organ also. Quantitative measurement of renal growth is possible on 2D ultrasonography Doppler technique when used in conjugation with 2D imaging is particularly informative. The only drawback for ultrasonography that it is an operator dependent procedure, that is the skill of the operator will obviously affect the outcome of the result. Other technique is computer tomography. It can detect a non-functioning or poorly functioning kidney. With the advent of multi-detector raw CT, it is possible to acquire high resolution image with faster speed, hence less motion blur in small children. As adults would be stable, but in children, we find that they do move a lot. It's difficult to hold on their movements. And we get a lot of blurring pictures, but with the advent of high resolution CT, we could get stable pictures. Then we have MRI. Though there are several advantages of this image modality of non-ionizing agent, multiplanar imaging capability, and superior soft tissue contrast resolution. Its use is limited in pediatric practice because of motion-related problem and requires sedation and general anesthesia. Also, a technique of maturation cystourethrogram is also used and is used in diagnosis and inclusion of vesico-ureteric reflex, detection of abnormalities of bladder and urethra. So what we do is, when the contrast agent is introduced into the bladder through a catheter to the urethra, then the film are taken when the child is voiding or the adult is voiding. The catheter should be introduced as strict aseptic precaution. Patient at high risk of systemic sepsis, like infants, children with dilated urinary tract congenital heart disease, should receive prophylactic treatment with oral amoxicillin and parenteral gentamicin prior to the position so that any superior infection can be avoided. Other techniques are also used. Several other imaging techniques are also used. The nephrogram, urethrogram, uretrocate, pyelogram, angiography, or certain other procedures. So usually, ultrasonography is the first procedure in the patient with suspected urinary tract disease. That's it. This was all about neural function test. Thank you.